Standard 3 Science, Lesson number 8 Birds Explanation. Students, you must have seen many different kind of birds around you. Some are big, some are small, some are very beautiful, colorful, and some have single color only. So let us study in this chapter something very interesting about the birds. Our first topic for today's bird lesson is beaks. Now we have seen that different birds have different kind of beaks, and these beaks depend upon the food they eat. Whatever kind of food they are eating, their beak depends on it. Now here you can see sparrow and pigeon. Their beak are strong, short and hard because it helps them to crack the nuts and open the food. Here in this picture also you can see a bird eating nut. Now flesh-eating birds. Now flesh-eating birds, they eat the flesh of other animals or birds, and they have strong, sharp and hooked beak. Why they have this kind of beak? Because this kind of beak helps them to tear the flesh. Eagle, hawk, vulture, etc. are the example of the birds which are flesh-eating birds and have strong, sharp and hooked beaks. Hoopoe and woodpecker are the birds which have strong and pointed beak. Why they have these kind of beak? Because this kind of beak helps them to poke holes into hard tree trunks. Here in this picture also we can see that woodpecker is sitting on a tree and it is poking into the hard tree trunks, and after uh, putting the holes inside, they pull out the insects from the holes. That's why they need strong pointed beaks. Waterbirds such as duck and goose have broad and flat beaks. Now here is the picture of duck. You can see the beak of a duck. It is broad and it is very much flat. Here you can see it's very flat and it's very broad. Why these kind of beak do ducks and goose have? They have these kind of beaks so that from the muddy water they can take out insect, worms and plants using their beaks. Hummingbird and sunbird suck nectar from the flowers. These are the birds which suck nectar from the flowers, and so they have long and pointed beaks which helps them to suck nectar. Moving to our next topic of the bird lesson, that is feet and claws. Earlier we saw that different kind of birds have different beaks depending on their food they eat. In the same way, feet are also dependent on the food they eat. Most birds have 2 feet, and on that 2 feet they usually have 4 toes on each. Here you can see they are having 2 feet and there are 4 toes on each. These kind of feet are helpful to walk and hop and also to catch and hold the food. Now flesh-eating birds such as eagle and vulture have very sharp claws. Here you can see that how pointed and very sharp claws they are having, and these are called talons. They pick up small animals such as mice, toads and rats using these talons. Our next topic is perching birds. These kind of birds examples are crow, sparrow, pigeon and parrot. These kind of birds use their feet to hold on to tree branches and sit on them. That's why it is called perching birds. And their feet are so strong that whenever they are sitting and holding the branch of a tree, and then also when they are sleeping, they do not fall. Next is scratching bird. Here. Scratching birds are hens and peacock. They have sharp claws to dig the ground. We must have seen the peacock or hen scratching the grounds. Okay, digging the grounds. That's why they are named scratching birds. They dig out the food inside the ground using their toes. Climbing birds such as woodpecker have two toes pointing in the upward direction and two toes pointing in the downward direction. Now here you can see the two toes are on the upward position and two are on the downward position. And this picture you can see that this kind of toes helps them to hold on the tree trunk. Now water birds such as ducks and goose have webbed feet that helps them to swim in the water. You must have seen the scuba divers. Okay, they are whatever they are wearing swimming costumes, in that on their feet also they are wearing these kind of shoes only, which helps them to swim better. So water birds are having webbed feet. Now you can see they are joined by the skin, giving them a very flat appearance. This helps them to push the water while they are swimming. Now here is the example of the water birds such as heron, stork and crane. These are the birds which can walk through the water. That's why they are called wading birds. Okay, and their legs are long and they have spread out toes. Here you can see their legs are long and their toes are spread out, which helps them to walk in the water. Now moving to our next topic is how birds fly. Just now we saw their different kind of beaks, how different their feet and claws were, what were the uses of that. Now how do birds fly? Birds fly with the help of wings, which are joined to the body with strong muscles, which helps them to move. Now a bird flaps its wing in both the direction, in upwards also and in downwards also. Here you can see the wings are in upwards direction. Then it goes in the downward direction and again it goes in the upward direction. Now these upward and downward strokes, they are known as upstroke and downstroke. Our next topic is feathers. A bird's body is covered with so many feathers, and mainly there are three types of feathers in a bird body: body feathers, down feathers and flight feathers. These kind of feathers you must have seen sometimes on the ground or coming by the wind in your houses also. Now body feathers, these are the body feathers which covers a bird's body, which fully covers a bird's body. Now these kind of feathers are known as down feathers because they are so fluffy and they are so soft, and these feathers helps the bird body to keep them warm. And these are flight feathers, and these kind of feathers are mainly found on the wings, which helps them to fly, means which are meant for flying. Moving to our next topic, that is nests of birds. Now as birds they have different beaks, different claws, different eating habits, different kind of feathers, they are having different kind of nest also. We are also living in different kinds of houses. In the same way, birds also make their nests in different ways. Now let us see the first bird, that is Tailorbird. Now why it is named tailor? Tailor stitches our clothes with the help of a needle. So here also the tailor bird uses its beak like a needle to sew the leaves together and build a nest. It uses the materials such as thread and wool to sew the leaves. Here also you can see how beautifully it has sewed the leaves with the help of its beak, and here you can see the inner view of the nest. That's why it is known as a tailor bird. Weaver bird. Now weaver bird also uses its beak to weave the pieces of leaves, grass or twigs to build the nest. The nest has an opening through which the bird enters. Here you can see the opening. on the top here, you can see that from here the weaver bird enters and lives inside it. And here you can see how beautifully it has weaved with the help of twigs, grass and leaves its nest. Now woodpecker uses its beak to peck into trees and make hole for the nest. As we know that woodpecker, its name is only woodpecker. So it lives in the tree trunk, and to enter the tree trunk they peck into the tree trunks. Means they make a hole in the tree trunks and make their nest inside it. Penguins. Now we all know that penguins live in a very cold places, and it is very difficult in these kind of places to get grass, leaves or straw or twigs. Okay, it is very difficult to find all these things. So now penguin makes its nest in a very different manner. Penguins collect stones and pebbles and make their nest on the ground. Just now we see that all the birds are making their nest either on the tree or trunk. But penguins make their nest on the ground, and that also with the help of stones and pebbles. Here you can see this is the nest of the penguin made with the help of pebbles and stones. I hope students you have understood and enjoyed the lesson regarding the birds. Now you will enjoy more looking at the birds, and you will remember how beautifully they stitch their nest, how beautifully they fly, and how they use their beaks and feet and claws. Thank you.